Look at us. Who would have thought? Hello folks, it's me, Laurel-Ann, and I'm here with just a quick little video of 21 books that I want to read in 2020. This is not anticipated releases. You'll notice these are all either backlist books or books that came out last year. I don't know if that counts as backlist. At what point does a book become a backlist book? I don't know. For the most part, these are all books that I wanted to read last year, but just for whatever reason did not get to them. And they're all books that I really want to read, not just like a cursory interest. I'm not really gonna give much information about these books. I'm just gonna say why I want to read them. I don't know if this will be interesting, but at the end of the year, we'll check in and see how many of them I read, and that will probably be pretty funny, because maybe I'll read 0. Who knows? So the first one I want to read is Axioms End by Lindsay Ellis. This is her debut novel. Lindsay is a person of the internet. She makes really good media criticism video essays, and I really like her online work a lot. And as soon as I heard that she was coming out with a book, I knew I wanted to read it. My sister got it for me for my birthday or for Christmas, one of those. And I am probably going to read it soon, I think. I'm a little nervous because I really don't read sci-fi, but I don't know. It should be fun. It should be an interesting experiment. Next is Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield. I basically know nothing about this except that it's historical fiction, and I bought it not earlier this year, I bought it last year, and it's one of only a few books on my shelves that I haven't read, so I do want to get to it. I would hold it up for you, but I don't feel like it. Next is Middlemarch by George Eliot. This would be a reread for me, but the first time I read it, I was like 12, and I think that's probably too young to be reading a book like Middlemarch. I definitely did not understand any of the deeper conversations that are happening in that book. I was just like, cool, the old-timey Victorian people are gonna kiss. And that was what I was there for, and I did get it. But I'm really excited to read it again. I've talked before with people like I actually understood and remember this book, and in reality, not so much. The next 3 that I want to read are the Lord of the Rings trilogy because I've never read them. I've tried to read Fellowship 2 or 3 times and have never been able to get into it. I just find Tolkien's writing quite bad, but I don't know, I just really want to have read these books, and I think that I can force myself through and hopefully by the end actually come to enjoy them. I've been watching the movies this week with my sister, and they're just really good, but I still want to read the books, so hopefully I will. And then that just got me on a whole kick of series that I need to finish. So the next one I want to read is Hollowpox by, what's her name, Jessica Townsend. This is the most recent release in the Morgan Crow series. I really liked the first 2. It's middle grade fantasy, and I just haven't read this one. I think it is a pandemic-based plot, which I don't know if I'm ready for that. My cat wants to leave the room. In 2 minutes, he's going to be back at the door meowing to come in. Okay, next is The Burning God by R.F. Kuang, the 3rd and final book in the Poppy Wars trilogy. Once again, I love the first 2. I don't know why I didn't get to the 3rd one. Actually, I do think I have a little bit of fear just because I know it's going to be very challenging emotionally, and I'm nervous. The next of this little arc of finishing series is A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor, which is the sequel to what's it called? An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. The first one was really good. I thought it was totally surprising and innovative, and I'm really interested to see where it goes. Number 10 is Transcendent Kingdom by Yajiasi. I really don't know anything about this book. It was one of my most anticipated releases of the year because Homegoing is one of my favorites. It was my favorite book of 2018. And yet I didn't read it, and I don't know what it's about, but I plan to. The next is The Night Watch by Sarah Waters, or some alternate Sarah Waters book. I'm kind of flexible. That's just the one I'm feeling at the moment. I read A Little Stranger 2 years ago. It was my first Sarah Waters, and I just fell in love with her writing, and the ideas that she explores in her fiction. And I knew from that moment that I wanted to read all of her books, and I have not read a single one since then. So we're going to remedy that in 2021. Next is Luster by Raven Leilani. This was a book that as soon as I saw the cover, I knew I had to read it, and then I didn't. And I've only heard positive things about it, and so I think that we're gonna jive, me and this book. The next one is Exciting Times by Nisha Dolan. This is a book by an Irish female writer. She's been compared to Sally Rooney, who I love. It is set in an ESL teaching community in Hong Kong. As a former expat myself, I know how ridiculous those communities can be and how rife for storytelling they are, and I don't know how I haven't read this book, but I am very excited that I get to read it in the future. I'm gonna say that about all the books, and that's the point of this video. Next is The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. This, by all accounts, is his best work, or tied for his best work with Never Let Me Go. The premise of it really intrigues me, and I think it would be quite a pleasant read for me. Next is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This was a really controversial release, but ever since that initial uproar died down, I've pretty much only heard positive things about it. And I love an unlikable main character. I really enjoy the book Lolita, and I feel like this has some parallels with that. And I'm just really interested to see what all the hubbub is about. Number 16 is In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado, which is her memoir about being in an abusive relationship with another woman. Sounds really important, and I also have heard only great things about her writing. And you know me, I love good writing, so yeah, why haven't I read this yet? I don't know. Next is Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. Of course, I want to keep learning about race in America and the world, as we all should. And Isabel Wilkerson seems to be bringing kind of a fresh perspective to this discussion that sounds very interesting to me. I feel like I'm speaking with really weird cadence in my voice because I'm trying to go so fast. I don't know, this feels very weird and unnatural. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Next is Bunny by Mona Awad. Again, I don't know anything about it, but I love the cover, and people keep saying it's weird. I want to read more weird things. I enjoy weird things. And also, Christy over at Books Are Neat really liked it, and I think that for the most part, our tastes tend to align pretty closely. So I think if she liked it, I'll probably like it. Wow, we're almost there. 19 is The Five by Hallie Rubenhold. I've read 2 other Hallie Rubenhold books, but not her most popular book. And I really like, for the most part, I had some issues with the most recent one that I read, but I really like her writing and her whole like mission, and I think The Five is a topic that is of particular interest to me, so I think I will really like it if I do ever get to it. Number 20 is Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. I freaking love Little Fires Everywhere, and I just want more Celeste. And then the last, number 21, is The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. This is one of those books that from the minute I heard about it and from the minute I saw the cover, I was just like knew that was going to be a book for me, that I was going to love, and yet I never read it. So hopefully I will, and hopefully it lives up to my expectations. Okay, that's all. I want to know what backlist books you are prioritizing in 2021. If you want to help out my channel, but you don't feel like thinking of a comment to type, you can just give me the beer mug emoji. I don't know why, but that's the one I picked. Have a good day, y'all. I hope that you're doing well. Okay, bye. I don't want to cry, but we all have to cry sometimes.